Dr. Olivia Hidalgo-Hardman Mcdonald co-authored the book Public Administration for the 21st Century. The book typifies her interest in governmental decision-making and public management. During her PhD work at Purdue University, she specialized in public policy, comparative politics, comparative public administration, and quantitative analysis. She serves as director of the Center for Applied Domestic and International Policy Studies at Regent University.
My topic today is human trafficking, but I feel obliged to connect the dots of all of the people that have come before me. And I do that with great humility because you've had wonderful speakers over the course of the time that these sessions have been going on. Connecting the dots, this notion that we serve a God who lives and sees, a God who has established order, a God who is a God of law and order, a God who is a just God, a God who claims that this earth belongs to him. When I read the Word, both the Old and New Testaments, I have an understanding that the battle is over who owns planet Earth, and that the Bible itself is a territorial book. And one of the things that we are called upon to do is take dominion over the space that he has established for us to dwell in. A territorial book. Now, many of us already know how this conversation ends. But in the meantime, let me tell you about the worst places on earth to live. And in the event any of you are in this auditorium or from any of these nations, I apologize, but stand on notice. You have a job to do. Belize, Burma, Cuba, Iran, Laos, North Korea, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Syria, Uzbekistan, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. Worst places on earth. Now, why would I make such a declaration? These are the places that are identified as being third tier on a 3-tier scale that measures the degree of tolerance for the selling and mutilation and murder of human beings. Worst places on earth. For those of you who are called into intercession, consider this your commission to pray for the countries that I have just listed. You might say, well, they're so remote from us. What can we do about the situation of modern-day slavery, especially in nations such as these? Well, one of the things that I do at Regent University is I teach a course entitled Public Policy. And in public policy, what we do is we dare to ask what should be on earth. And then we do something on the order of what the professor did yesterday, Professor Sherman, I think, where he examined a series of variables or things that change that can be manipulated in a way for the betterment of society. If you remember that conversation, if you weren't here yesterday, it was a wonderful conversation because the discussion was about how to address a movement that is directed towards the destruction of Western civilization. I would like to stand on notice of being someone who says that I believe multiculturalism is a religion. I believe that eclecticism, that is the notion that all gods and philosophies and religions are created equal, is an abomination. And I believe very much that we are called to be humane, because every individual on the faces of this earth bears the image of God, whether they know it or not. It's because of these facts that issues like modern-day slave trade are very important. Now, for those of you who are parts of organizations of religious entities, and you feel so led, I suggest that you consider adopting a nation. What am I saying? I'm suggesting that just as you find out everything to do with your own neighborhood and so on, that your church or your synagogue or whatever institution you're with, decide on one nation and get to know everything about it. You decide on this one nation, and then if you really want to have an impact on modern-day slavery, figure out a way to generate the resources to put a private school available to anyone in those nations. And the reason why I'm suggesting this is many of the parents that are selling their children into this are trying to get their children a better way of life. So if you're able to invest in a school, and the school would have maybe 2 tracks to it, one that leads to more academic things and others to vocational things, not like what we've done in the United States in the recent past, then that individual will know that there's a future. Work on the children. And then there are already organizations like the one that is listed behind me. This group is a collection of organizations all over the world. And what we're doing is looking at people being sold in each nation. I have a price list of people, what it costs to buy people. I just didn't bring it with me. But you can buy someone from Latin America for about $400 today. I'm telling you this because of the urgency of the hour. And the fact that these people who are being sold bear the image of God. And his image is being sold for cheap.